You wake up, make coffee, check your phone, drive to work, and every single one of those things is controlled by geopolitics. You just didn't know it. Geopolitics. Big word, scary word, the kind of word people say at dinner parties to sound smart and then immediately change the subject. But here's the thing. Geopolitics isn't just for politicians or professors. It affects the price of your petrol, the phone in your pocket, and whether your country goes to war next Tuesday. So today, we're going to oversimplify it. To understand the world today, we need to go back, way back. It's the 1800s. Most of the Earth's land is either unexplored, colonized, or being aggressively argued over by men in very uncomfortable hats. The ancient giants, the Roman Empire, the Abbasid Caliphate, the Mongol Empire had already collapsed, and Europe, sitting in the rubble, looked around and thought, you know what? Our turn. See, after centuries of the Pope says so, there's happened. Suddenly, Europe wasn't just a peninsula full of feudal drama, it was the manufacturing capital of the world. But here's the problem. Resources in Europe were running out. So what do powerful men do when they run out of things? They go take someone else's things, obviously. From 1400 to 1700, Portugal, Spain, Britain, and France launched what historians politely call the Age of Discovery, and what everyone else calls the era of showing up uninvited. Kings hired explorers like Christopher Columbus and John Cabot and essentially said, go find new land, bring back gold, don't come back without gold. Meanwhile, Asia had the Silk Road, the ancient superhighway of trade, culture, and, occasionally, plague. But after the Mongol Empire collapsed, the Silk Road got carved up by dozens of tiny kingdoms all fighting each other. It was basically a highway with 1,000 toll booths, and everyone had a sword. So finding a sea route to Asia, critical, and Europe did exactly that. Now, fast forward, Europe has colonized half the planet. It controls the trade routes, it controls the resources, it controls basically everything. So naturally, they started fighting each other over who controls the most. And that is why two wars between European powers somehow got called world wars. When you own the world, your arguments become the world's problem. The 19th and 20th centuries were the peak of European dominance. Every major conflict, every trade deal, every border drawn on a map, it happened in Europe, by Europeans, for European interests. But then, something shifted. Enter the United States of America, a country that not long ago was just a bunch of colonies that got really tired of paying British taxes. So how does a young nation go from please stop taxing our tea to we basically run the planet? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out. Because two world wars, one economic foreign policy later, America sat down on the throne of global superpower and said, I'm not moving. And they haven't for almost 80 years. So here's where we are. Ancient empires fell, check. Europe rose, check. The world got colonized, check. Two world wars blew it all up, check. And somehow, America ended up on top, check. But how exactly did that happen? And who's threatening that throne right now? That's part 2. And trust me, it gets a lot more interesting from here. Subscribe if you want to know how this ends.